I hear we must go to the next story. It is possible. Now, when the Canadian politician Allan Pope said, let me quote him, people shouldn't be afraid of their government, government should be afraid of their people. He meant to say that the people were employers of their governments, in a manner of speaking. So in Imo State, the frosty relationship between organized labor, a representative of the people, seems to negate the concise statement of the Canadian politician. Whereas Governor Hope Uzodinma says the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero, must learn to draw a line between being a labor leader and being a partisan Imo State indigene. Now, organized labor, on the other hand, has vowed to take action against the governor following the brutalization of Ajaero. Are we in for some fireworks? Do you think?
Yes, we are in.
Okay. As you people say there, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Of course. You will see the state government talking. Apart from the state governor, you see the commissioner of information, all of them talking. And from the end of the labor, I think some minutes ago, the labor said they will go on strike.
On the 8th?
You get what I'm saying? So it will continue like that. But when you come down, you need to, think about the issues. If possible, in a dispassionate manner. You understand what I'm saying? Ajaero is from Imo State.
He's an Aluta man.
Of course. An Aluta man. I would say one of us in those days, but an Aluta man today. Now, is the president of Nigerian Labour Congress. The issue at stake is the state government, Imo State government, is it owing salaries of some workers or not? That's what the NLC is.
But the governor says he has paid all outstanding salaries.
That is not absolutely true. Based on the facts on the ground, the HEDIO administration began what is called staff verification, or audit exercise. The sitting government of Uzodinma took it over and continued. But as we speak today, there's a whole lot of people that are not being paid. What the government is saying is that they are ghost workers, and by that the government meant that these are people who have not been verified. You understand what I'm saying? Who have not been verified.
And you're wondering
how
long that would take?
I am now asked, if they have not been verified, have you sacked them? You said they are ghost workers.
Can you sack ghosts?
By the laws of Nigeria, you can arrest any ghost worker and try them.
You can arrest
since you said, so you can try them, you can do it. Has that been done? When we say ghost workers, we didn't mean ghosts in the true sense.
Okay.
We just call them. So now, I asked, somebody who is knowledgeable in the affairs of Imo State, can you put this in perspective? Like how many people? And the man said between 10 to 20% of the state workforce. I said, but that's enormous. So what we are saying is, between Ajaero and the state government, there is still truth in what this is saying, but not exact truth. So you need to balance what the state government is saying that is not owing workers. It's not absolutely true. It's owing some workers, even though it's paying those it found worthy through its audit exercise.
Yeah.
Those who are not worthy, according to the verdict, that is, those described as ghost workers are not being paid. So is it right for Ajaero to go and protest, especially when politics is around? That's another thing.
And so,
but
sorry, Kunle, you are looking at Ajaero, the Aluta man, and Ajaero, an indigene, a son of the soil.
Yes, the Ajaero as NLC president, I would not, but because you realize that the state chapter of the same body are in bed with the state government. then the national leadership is not happy with that. You have to, dissolve and come up with caretaker. Then the state government say no, that you cannot do that. And no, that is it. So when you look at it deeply, it's all politics that is at play.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Labour...
And in the face of an upcoming election...
yeah, of course, Labour is a very dirty, political game. Labour shouldn't be seen, playing politics. Ajaero, to me, played into the hands of the state government, because if you need to, as a Nigerian, you have a right to protest.
Yeah.
As NLC, you have a right to protest. But because when you have interests that clash, what should you do? You have deputy president, you have this vice president, all of them can go ahead and do it. That's my opinion, but I don't think he has done the right.
Jide, and to be a likable governor, and for that matter, government, is not magic. You do certain things, and the people will applaud you. Or what do you think? What do you say?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. This issue is not about somebody wanting people to like him. It's a case of a governor seeing Ajaero as coming
as a threat
to make his re-election difficult. And that is an election that will be potentially close, because the candidate of the Labour Party is wrong. He's physically challenged, but he has tremendous support, no doubt about it, because he's a philanthropist, and people tend to like philanthropists because they remember those good things that such people had done in the past for them. So the governor felt coming so close to the election, 10 days to an election, to lead a protest, and some of the rhetorics used to describe the Imo administration, there is no way that Hope Uzodinma will be comfortable about that. And it's like, given all the noise that the NLC made about the rally that they plan to do in that state, the government was also fantastically prepared for them. And they were not going to give Ajaero the chance to move around and demarcate it in the manner that they plan to do. There is a big problem with being a union leader and appearing to support a political party, whether Ajaero likes it or not. By aligning with the Labour Party that feeds candidates in elections, that has suddenly become one of the most prominent parties in our country, some of his moves will be seen as partisan.
Yeah.
You can, for example, be following the presidential candidate of the Labour Party about going with him to presidential election petitions court, going to the party secretariat and expect that people will not see you as manifestly supporting Labour Party. And if Labour Party is actively involved in the oncoming election, definitely they will see you as trying to help the party.
Yeah.
That's the way, if you ask 3 or 4 persons on the side of the governor, that is the way they are thinking. That he did what he did it on purpose to make it difficult for us to win, or make it impossible for us to win. The timing is the issue, because it came so close to the election. If I'm sure they didn't just discover that the governor was owing some categories of workers, but this should have taken place before now.
Yeah.
This was the sort of rallying of Nigerians that people expected Ajaero and his people to do when we had this Naira repainting exercise called Naira redesign. People look forward to Labour. Labour didn't show up, despite the fact that bank workers were being beaten up because people will come to a bank and will not be able to get money, whereas the vaults of the banks were empty. I met a guy who works for one of the major banks in Abuja, and he told me, he said, in my 25 years of working in the operations department of banks, this is somebody who had moved from bank to bank, up to 6 banks. He said, for the first time, the vault of their branch is in Asokoro, a very big branch, the vault was empty. That's to tell you what Nigerians went through during the Naira redesign season. Ajaero never called out workers for a strike, despite the fact that Nubife, after they beat up bank workers, Nubife actually threatened that they would go on strike. The parent labor body never got Nigerians to go on strike. And the pains inflicted on Nigerians during that period, I doubt if Nigerians had ever witnessed it since Nigeria became an independent nation. Many people lost their businesses. Many people died.
Many people
they couldn't pay their hospital bills. They died in the process. Some were rejected. But you couldn't call people out for a strike because at that time, it appeared to fit into the wish and plan of some people, because they felt, oh, if some politicians didn't have access to money, they won't be able to win an election. How silly do people think? How silly. Politicians, just like Ndumese said, if we need money, we will call the banks, they will give us. It is the ordinary people who will not have access to money.
Yeah.
So labor must not take steps, must not behave in a way that will make people begin to think that, oh, labor is actually supporting a particular party. Even in that, workers, members of the respective workers' union, they belong to different political tendencies. There are some in APC, there are some in PDP. So if you are seen to be openly partisan, then there's a problem somewhere. Yeah. Now, even now, they said because Ajaero was beaten, now you want to call a nationwide strike. Why?
All right.
Must everything be resolved
just a minute
with the instrumentality of strike?
They quickly take it home.
Yes, I don't think that what happened to Ajaero should necessitate a nationwide strike. A nationwide strike should be something of a last resort. It's not something that you just throw at us just anytime. Electricity workers have no rights to go on strike. They are among the categories of workers that the law forbids them to go on strike. Duties. But the other day in our country, they switched off the grid. The last people who did something similar during the military era, they were jailed. So are they saying that they do not know that as electricity workers, they cannot just go on strike? You are not allowed to. It's just like police going on strike. It's forbidden.
Or the hospital workers.
Police can't go on strike. Hospital workers go on strike. I'm saying that people that the law, yes. You can't, police can't go on strike.
Young doctors go on strike almost every year.
I was even surprised when they mentioned
almost every year. You see, let me be honest with you. What Ajaero, you see, for labor not as a movement, as an institution in Nigeria, not to die, they need to look inward. Under this administration, they have what they call credibility crisis. Believe me, Nigerians, the moment you lose the trust, you are nobody.
Yeah.
You see, Ajaero got this wrong right from day one, the beginning. As labor, organized labor, you should not have, reduced yourself into partisanship. The moment the leadership of labor under Ajaero did, in a normal setting, it will be sacrificed for somebody with a neutral mindset, not Ajaero. I have nothing against him. What happened to him what happened to him in Imo State is highly condemnable, and I will say it anywhere. But he called for it. So they shouldn't just be beating about the bush because of Nigeria, in the national interest. Ajaero is thoroughly deficient in leading that, important organization.
No.
Reason, you will ask me why? Because you
of
aligned. No, I know what I'm saying. Because he's a Nigerian and he's thoroughly qualified to be anything. But by aligning with a political, a presidential candidate,
I see that.
how do you now say something that people will believe?
But,
so for you, I'm coming. Labor, we know labor over the years. I will have to say this. Because we know labor over the years, you need your personal interest shouldn't override that of the collective. But they need a fresh, somebody who will not be tainted with partisanship to lead labor. Now, you now even went further. Okay, what has labor achieved under this government? Almost zero. Now, if you now took it to the extreme, absurd level, you now go to your state. What Uzodinma did, condemnable, but everybody will likely do the same because your interest is also at stake.
But the situation in Imo, Jide, it will split opinion naturally.
That's what every topic does.
See, if you ask the question now, who is the better Nigerian between Unleshi and myself?
One of you.
Nigerians will pick. See, they will decide based on what they think are our political leanings. If it's pro-Labour, Labour Party supporters
will back me.
Will back him.
Oh yeah.
Whatever the truth that they know, they will ignore it.
And if you are
pro APC, APC, they will say, "Oh, Jide is it looks like one of our people." So they will support him.
And you are PDP.
If you are PDP, the PDP people will be the ones to support you. That's the way we think.
Yeah.
We also think along ethnic lines.
Okay.
More people will support him from his ethnicity. More people, they hear your name, they say, this person is from Akwa Ibom. You will see from their comments on your Facebook page that
they will gravitate.
The people supporting you are people from your area. Yeah. So opinion will always be split in our country without recourse to rationality. This is the way it is. First, who are you supporting? First, who is which ethnicity do you belong to? Those are the things that people form their opinion based on, and it's so shameful.
All right.